Now, going to the movie Temple of Doom, when that movie came out, well, now when I read about reviews of it, it's when they
You
talk,
read reviews of it now?
when they talk about you, usually they added hysterical,
The screaming,
shrieking,
hysterical, shrieking,
and
shrew.
now, at the time, a lot of people seemed to be comparing you with Karen Allen, and I thought that was an unfair comparison.
Yeah.
And what did you feel at the time?
She has brown hair and I have blonde hair.
So what did you feel the reviews at the time were unfair, and what are your memories of that film?
The memories of making it were great. We had a lot of fun, and it was, I mean, it was a big picture. It was a big budget. It was first class all the way. I was working with, you know, some of the most talented filmmakers in the world. The reviews of it were almost, I think they took us all by surprise. And I think more than the reviews of me, I was more shocked at the reviews of the movie, where the critics gave the movie a real pounding for its violence. And we were, you know, we created the PG-13. I mean, our movie rattled up the review board, and they'd all said, oh, we've got to have a PG-13 now because, you know, they get away with this stuff, and we don't want our little kiddies, you know. Meanwhile, any fairy tale book in the world that you pick up has got far more brutal depictions of violence, and your imagination's always much worse than what you actually see. Anyway, I thought it was unfortunate. It actually, I would be curious if any film schools or classes ever take a look at that time and come up with any theories as to why they were particularly hard on that. Okay. And the woman's role took quite a beating, and I got tired of defending what I considered a cartoon character. She was a complete cartoon character of your nightmare female.
I've always had a big interest in movies that are made overseas. Now, you went to Italy to make a movie, which is kind of unusual. Now, tell me about that experience and what kind of idiosyncrasies happened with that film that were unusual.
Well, I did a movie over there, God, it was 4 years ago, I think. And the truth is, I took the movie because I wanted to get out of town. The law wasn't chasing me, but it was time to just get out of the United States and get a different perspective on life. And making a movie in Italy was actually very funny. And there was only one other American in the picture, David Naughton. He and I used to laugh all the time about how if they would just turn the cameras on themselves, ourselves, it would probably be a really funny movie. Italy only started recording sound in the last 5 years or so, maybe 10. But the crews are all, you know, 40-year veterans. So people forget that they're not supposed to talk during takes. So 9 out of 10 times, right in the middle of the take, someone will, you know, walk across the sound stage, you know, chomp on their sandwiches, you know, burp. I mean, it's just, you're always distracted by the sound because they're not used to being quiet.
When people go on location, now you've been in some very exotic locations. You were in Japan, where I imagine you attracted a lot of attention, and you were in Oklahoma for this movie. Now, what were the differences in the way people reacted in those two areas?
Japan and Oklahoma? It was like night and day. Japan, first of all, I was the only blonde female for a month that I ever saw, ever laid eyes on, except for the costume designer who was also blonde. It's a completely different culture. Oklahoma obviously I felt very much at home, very much like I knew all these people. I knew what their day was like. I knew what they ate for dinner. I knew how they fixed it. I knew what their goals were. In Japan, I didn't know anything. It was very foreign. I wanted to leave.
Roles that you've wanted to do but didn't get. I read that you wanted the Susan Sarandon role in Bull Durham.
Everyone on the planet wanted that role.
Well, what is your attitude when you try for a role like that and you come close? What kind of philosophy have you adopted about that if you don't make it?
Well, I don't think that I came close in Bull Durham, but there have been other roles that have come, you know, where it's me and the other person, and the other person got it. In those cases, first of all, were always so different. You can't, it's not like there's a twin of you and they were better. It's that they're so different that it's clearly just a matter of choice. And my philosophy is that, particularly the times when I get that close, it's usually just a flag to me that says you're getting very close to your next job. Because it's just, when you get that close, you're just on the right track.
Okay. And one really quick question that wrapped me up was, what kind of mementos do you keep from your movies over the years?
Sometimes a piece of the wardrobe. I try to remember to keep the back of my chair. I had this idea I would collect all the backs of my chairs. I always forget. I keep the scripts. Maybe just an item of clothing I might have of each film.
Okay.
Not a lot. I don't keep a lot.